You're watching this right now for a reason. It wasn't the algorithm. It wasn't coincidence. Something in your chest tightened when you read this title. And you know what's worse? You probably already know the answer, but you came here looking for someone to tell you everything is fine. Spoiler, I won't do that. In the last 20 years, I've watched over 1,000 relationships die in front of me. 1,000. And you know what the pattern was. None of them died suddenly. They all bled slowly, drop by drop, while both pretended they didn't see the blood on the floor. Let me be brutally honest with you. 56% of marriages end in divorce. Of the 44% that survive, half are together for the kids, for money, or for fear of being alone. Doing the math, only 1 in every 4 couples is genuinely happy. 1 in 4. If I told you that you have a 75% chance of being run over when you leave the house, would you leave? But everyone thinks their love is special, different. With us it will be different. No, it won't. Before you close the video thinking I'm a bitter cynic, I still believe in love. But I believe in love with open eyes. I believe in fixing the car before it leaves you on the road. I believe in going to the dentist before the tooth rots. Today, I'll show you the 6 signs that always appear before the end. They're the same signs I saw in each of those 1,000 cases. And the scariest part, most people ignore all of them. Leave a like if you had the courage to keep watching. And comment, what's your biggest fear? Staying in a dead relationship or ending too soon? Sign 1, you stopped doing the little things. I'll start with a question that will seem stupid. Do you know what brand of shampoo your partner uses? No? And their favorite cereal? The podcast they listen to in the car? The name of the annoying boss at work? Oh, but those are silly details. No, it's exactly these silly details that hold a relationship together. You know why? Because paying attention to small things is what differentiates love from indifference. I call this the granola test. It's simple. If you don't notice when her favorite granola is running out, you also won't notice when her love for you is running out. I saw a case where the husband bought flowers every Friday for 15 years. Every Friday, until he stopped. Oh, she knows I love her. I don't need to prove it anymore. 6 months later, she was fucking the personal trainer. It wasn't the personal trainer who destroyed the marriage. It was the 6 months without flowers. It's like a plant. You don't notice it's dying the day you stop watering it. You notice 2 weeks later when the leaves are already yellow. But then, my friend, it's over. Relationships don't die from big betrayals. They die from small abandonments. 1,000 micro-negligences. 1,000 moments where you chose the phone over eye contact. 1,000 silent dinners. 1,000 automatic good nights. You know what's the saddest thing I hear in divorces? I don't know when we stopped really kissing. Think about it. You don't know when you stopped. Because it was so gradual, so subtle that when you noticed, the kiss had already become a protocol peck. Sex became a monthly obligation. I love you became an email signature. And the worst part, when the little things die, the big ones don't matter anymore. You can buy the car she always dreamed of. Take the trip to Paris. It doesn't help. Because the problem was never lack of grand gestures. It was the absence of small ones. It's the message in the middle of the day asking how she is. It's remembering she hates onions on her burger. It's pausing Netflix when she gets up to go to the bathroom. It's noticing she cut her hair, even if it's just the ends. But that takes work. Of course it takes work. Love takes work. You know what doesn't take work? Divorce. Lie. It takes much more. But then it's too late. Quick test. In the last 30 days, how many times did you do something specific and intentional to show you pay attention to your partner? Sex doesn't count. We watched Netflix together, doesn't count. I'm talking about bought the chocolate she mentioned 2 weeks ago, recorded his team's game, sent a meme only you two understand. If you don't remember, your relationship is already bleeding. Sign 2, you trash talk your partner to friends. Let me tell you about the most lethal poison for any relationship. The deprecating joke disguised as humor. My wife is a pain, won't leave me alone. My husband is useless, can't even change a light bulb. I married my mother, only more annoying. Ha 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 ha. Everyone laughs. It's just joking, right? No, it's murder. You're killing your relationship in public and still expecting applause. Every time you diminish your partner to others, even jokingly, you're doing 2 fatal things. First, you're training your brain to only see the flaws. It's like a photographer who only takes pictures of trash on the street. Eventually he forgets flowers exist. Second, you're giving permission for others to disrespect who you should protect. When you trash talk your wife to your friends, they start treating her badly too. And worse, they start presenting you with better alternatives. I saw a case where the woman spent every happy hour complaining about her boring husband to her friends. He just wants to stay home, never wants to go out. He's an old man at 35. You know what happened? Her friends started introducing more fun guys to her. Started saying, "You deserve better." Started normalizing the idea of breaking up. 6 months later, she was filing for divorce. And you know what the justification was? Everyone thinks we don't match. Everyone? Everyone who? The same ones you convinced for months that your marriage was a joke? Now, contrast this with couples that last. They are each other's lawyers. Even when they fight at home, on the street, they're a team. My wife is amazing. She handles everything at home. My husband is my safe harbor. Sounds cheesy? Maybe. But you know what's cheesier? Paying alimony. There's a golden rule. If you wouldn't say it with your partner present, don't say it with them absent. And more importantly, if your friends trash talk your partner and you don't defend, you've already chosen a side. And it wasn't your relationships. The elevator test. Imagine your partner is in an elevator with camera and audio, hearing everything you say about them. Would you be ashamed? Would you apologize? If yes, stop. Now. Every negative word you say is a brick in the wall you're building between you and walls, and once built, are very hard to tear down. Comment here. Do you defend or destroy your partner in conversations with friends? Be honest. No one will judge. Lie. Everyone will. But that's part of it. Outline 3. You're living in roommate mode. You know what's the difference between a marriage and a student house share? In marriage, you fuck. Or should. But let me guess your routine. Wake up, each on their phone. Quick coffee. Discussion about who takes the kid to school. Work. Return. Dinner watching TV. Phone on couch. I'm tired. Sleep. Repeat. On weekends, the excitement is going to the supermarket together. The peak of passion is deciding between pizza or burger for delivery. Congratulations, you don't have a wife. You have a roommate you occasionally see naked. Oh, but passion naturally diminishes. Lie. That's the excuse they invented to justify emotional laziness. Passion doesn't die naturally. It dies from negligence. It's murdered by routine, suffocated by comfort zone. I'll tell you about a couple. 22 years together. She discovered he had a mistress. You know what she told me? I'm not angry about the cheating. I'm angry because with her, he does everything he stopped doing with me. Dinners, motels, dirty messages, surprises. With the mistress, he was James Bond. At home, he was Homer Simpson. And here's the plot twist. He still loved his wife. But he confused comfort with love. Confused security with passion. Thought he could outsource excitement and keep the marriage as a safe base. He can't. When you stop seducing your partner, someone will do it for you. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Sex isn't just about sex. It's about connection, vulnerability, presence. It's the only thing that differentiates you from best friends who split expenses. But we don't have time. You have time to scroll. Instagram for 3 hours, but the kids sleep. Doors have locks. But the tiredness, bad sex lasts 5 minutes. Divorce lasts years. You know what's sadder? When I ask couples in divorce proceedings, when was the last time they really kissed? Not a peck. Kiss. Most don't remember. Don't remember. And worse, when they do remember, they realize it's been months, sometimes years. How do you let years pass without really kissing the person who shares your bed? It's like having a Ferrari in the garage and taking the bus. Every day you pass by the Ferrari, see it there, beautiful, available. But you take the bus because it's less work until the day you come home and the Ferrari is gone. Someone who values Ferrari more than you took it away. Brutal test. If you were forbidden to live together and could only see each other 2x per week, what would you do in those meetings? If the answer is watch series and order pizza, my condolences. Your relationship is already dead. You just haven't had the funeral yet. Sign 4. The phone became more interesting than your partner. I'll make a controversial statement. Instagram was the best thing that happened to my business. Facebook? It's a divorce manufacturing machine. To 3 cases per week, start with, I discovered on Facebook. But it's not about the cheating itself. It's about what happens before the cheating. It's about how the phone became more intimate than your partner. How many times are you together, but each on their phone? How many conversations were interrupted by notifications? How many times did you laugh more at a meme than at something your partner said? The phone became the third in the relationship. Only unlike a traditional lover, it's present 24/7. In bed, at dinner, during sex. Don't deny it, you've already taken that glance at the notification. And the algorithm? Oh, the algorithm is a digital pimp. It knows exactly what excites you, shows exactly what's missing in your relationship. Bored? Here are videos of couples traveling. Needy? Look at these semi-naked fitness people. Angry? Here are people agreeing you deserve better. And the DMs? In the past, to cheat, you needed courage. Leave the house. Make up excuses. Take risks. Today, it's a swipe up. Hey, stranger, 3 words. That's all it takes to start destroying 20 years of marriage. And it's not just about physical cheating. It's about emotional energy. Every like you give on bikini photos, every story you reply with fire, every or LOL in conversation with an ex. It's energy that should be in your relationship, but it's being wasted on internet strangers. I saw a case where the husband spent 4 hours a day on Instagram, followed 3,000 women. No men, liked every photo, commented compliments, but I never cheated. No, you just spent 4 hours a day, 1,460 hours per year, building a fantasy with women who don't even know you exist, while your real wife was beside you, begging for 5 minutes of attention. And her? She found attention in the coworker who noticed she was sad, who asked how her day was, who put the phone away during lunch to talk. Basic beat Instagram. Want a scary test? Take your phone now. Go to screen time. Compare how much time you spent on social media versus talking to your partner this week. If social media is winning, you're not in a relationship. You're in a digital addiction using marriage as a facade. And here's the most brutal truth. Your partner knows. Knows when you're pretending to shit to stay on the phone. Knows when you prefer scrolling to fucking... Knows when the phone vibrates and your eyes light up in a way they don't light up for them anymore. And every time you choose the phone, you're saying, anything here is more interesting than you. Message received. Loud and clear. Leave in the comments. How much screen time do you have per day? And how many minutes of real conversation with your partner? Without TV on, without phone in hand. Eye to eye. Math doesn't lie. Sign 5. You avoid difficult conversations. Let it go. It's not worth arguing. You know how I am. I don't want to ruin the mood. Each of these phrases is cancer in your relationship. Small, silent, but deadly. You know why couples who fight a lot divorce less than couples who never fight? Because at least they're communicating. Badly, screaming, throwing plates. But they are. Silence isn't peace. It's Cold War. Every conversation you avoid becomes a ghost in the relationship. And ghosts don't disappear. They grow, feed on resentment. Until one day, you wake up in a haunted house. I'll give practical examples of conversations couples avoid that always explode in divorce. Money. Now, how much do you spend on that? They avoid until discovering the $50K debt on the credit card. Sex. Is everything okay for you? They avoid until one seeks satisfaction outside. In-laws. Your mother crossed the line. They avoid until they can't stand stepping in each other's house anymore. Future. Where do we see ourselves in 5 years? They avoid until discovering they want completely different things. Kids. Do you want to have more kids? They avoid until it becomes an ultimatum. But what impresses me most is the mental gymnastics they do to avoid confrontation. He must be stressed with work. She'll realize she's wrong on her own. Things will resolve naturally. No, they won't. Nothing resolves naturally. Cancer doesn't cure itself. Debt doesn't pay itself. And relationship problems don't solve themselves. I saw a couple who spent 3 years avoiding talking about lack of sex. 3 years, each waiting for the other to bring up the subject. Each building narratives in their own head. Her, he doesn't find me attractive anymore. Him, she must have a lover. Reality, he had erectile dysfunction and was ashamed. She had early menopause and thought it was her problem. 3 years of suffering that a 30-minute conversation would solve. But they preferred silence, until silence became divorce. And it's not just about avoiding big fights. It's about daily micro-avoidances. Don't say the way he chews irritates you. Don't say you hate her new perfume. Don't say you want more help at home. Don't say you miss affection. Every let it go is a brick in the wall of resentment. And you know when this wall explodes? In divorce, when it doesn't matter anymore. Then yes, all truth appears. I always hated your friends. Your kisses tasted like cigarettes for 10 years. I never liked your haircut. You were always terrible in bed. Years of repressed truths gushing at once. Too late to fix. Too early to forget. The rule is simple. If something bothers you for more than a week, speak. Doesn't matter if it's silly. Doesn't matter if it will ruin the mood. Ruined mood for 1 hour. Ruined marriage forever. But here's the trick. It's not just about complaining. It's about creating a safe space for truth. Without judgment. Without punishment. Without, I told you so. Couples who last have meetings. Yes, meetings scheduled like a company. Where they put everything on the table. Finances, sex, irritations, dreams, fears. But that's not romantic. You know what's less romantic? Finding out at the divorce lawyer that your partner was unhappy for years and you didn't even know. Sign 6, you've already imagined life without them. Now we've reached the most dangerous sign, the point of no return. The moment where your brain has already started the grieving process for a relationship that still exists. Everyone has passing thoughts. What would it be like if I were single? It's normal. Like imagining what it would be like to win the lottery. Quick and harmless fantasy. But when fantasy becomes planning, when you start mentally calculating how much an apartment alone would cost, when you search rights in case of divorce in incognito tab, you already have 1 foot out the door. And the worst part, once this mental process starts, it's almost impossible to stop. It's like untying a knot. Once you see where each rope goes, you can't pretend it's one thing anymore. I've seen thousands of people at this stage. You know what they all have in common? They take an average of 2 years between the first serious thought of separation and the actual divorce. 2 years living a lie. 2 years playing a role. 2 years dying inside. Why? Fear? Guilt? Hope that something magical will happen? But mainly because once you admit you want to leave, you have to admit you failed. And nobody wants to be the villain of their own story, so you create narratives. I'll wait for the kids to grow up. After paying off the apartment. When he gets the new job. After my sister's wedding. Always a milestone. Always an after. Always an excuse to postpone the inevitable. But meanwhile, you're dying and killing because your partner feels it. Maybe not consciously, but feels it. The energy changes. The kiss becomes mechanical. The I love you sounds empty. Sex, when it exists, seems like an obligation. And the cruelest part, sometimes the partner doubles efforts, tries to win back, makes romantic dinners, buys gifts, suggests couples therapy, but it's too late. You've already had the mental funeral. You're already grieving. You've already said goodbye. The body is still there, but the soul of the relationship is gone. Want to know if you've reached this point? Answer with brutal honesty. When your partner is traveling, do you feel relief or miss them? If they received a job offer in another city, would you hope they accept? Do you avoid making long-term plans together? When you think about aging, can you imagine it beside them? But the definitive question, the one nobody wants to answer, if there were no consequences, no asset division, no alimony, no social judgment, no trauma for the kids, would you stay or leave? If the answer is leave, you already know what you need to do. You're just procrastinating the inevitable, and every day you postpone is a stolen day. From them, from you, from the chance for both to be happy with other people or alone. But happy. The final truth, nobody wants to hear. If you recognized 3 or more of these signs, your relationship is in terminal condition. Not dead, terminal. You can still save it, but you'll need drastic measures, like chemotherapy. Painful, exhausting, no guarantee of success. If you recognized 5 or 6, I'm sorry to be so direct, but you're reading this because deep down you already know it's over. You're just looking for someone to give you permission to admit it. Consider this your permission. But let me tell you a secret. I learned watching 1,000 relationships die. The problem was never incompatibility, never lack of love, never growing in different directions. It was cowardice. Cowardice to have difficult conversations. Cowardice to establish boundaries. Cowardice to ask for what you need. Cowardice to give what you promised. Cowardice to admit when you were wrong. Cowardice to leave when you should. Cowardice to fight when it was worth it. Relationships don't die from lack of love. They die from excess of cowardice. And the biggest cowardice of all, reading all this, recognizing the signs and continuing to do nothing, hoping things magically get better, that she changes. That time heals. Time doesn't heal anything. Time just makes chronic what was acute. You have 3 options. Option 1, fight talk, therapy, radical change. Accept it will hurt. That it will be uncomfortable. That a lot of shit will surface. But at least it will be real. Option 2, accept. Stop complaining. Stop suffering. Accept that this is the relationship you have and will have. Mediocre, lukewarm, passionless. But it's a choice. Your own, conscious. Option 3, end with dignity. With respect. Recognizing you tried, but it didn't work. That nobody is the villain. That love existed, but wasn't enough. What you can't do is option 4. Pretend you didn't see the signs, because now you know. And knowing and not acting is the worst betrayal. Not to your partner, to yourself. Final call to action. If this video made you think, leave a like. Not for the algorithm. For the courage to face difficult truths. If it made you feel something, anger, fear, relief, sadness, comment. Which of the 6 signs hit you hardest? Which truth didn't you want to hear? And if you know someone who needs to see this, and statistically you do, share. Not as a hint, as an act of courage. Because sometimes the person is so deep they can't see the surface. Last provocation. Imagine that today, at 11:59 p.m., your relationship ends. Poof. No drama, no fight. Just ends. What would you feel more, relief or despair? Your honest answer is all you need to know about the future of your relationship. And remember, there's no GPS for love. But there are danger signs on the road. You just saw 6 of them. What you'll do with this information? Well, that choice is entirely yours, but choose. Because not choosing is also a choice. And usually, the worst of all, I'll be leaving here. This was another video to make you think about what really matters while there's still time. Subscribe to the channel if you have the courage to face more inconvenient truths. And remember, true love exists, but it doesn't survive on luck. It survives on courage. The courage to be real, to be vulnerable, to admit when you're wrong, and mainly, the courage to fight for what's worth it, or the courage to let go of what's already dead. Both require courage. And if you don't have courage in love, you don't have love. You have fear disguised as a relationship. And fear always has an expiration date.